that we have a lot of expertise in this area, and I think that's one of the crown jewels of what we've done. I think a lot of people have come up to us, but that doesn't mean we are where we need to be.
Right.
I think we need to still continue to move forward, and there are some issues we need to update it. We're going to high definition television, which we don't have. It's a huge $1 million of investment into it, and so we were planning on it. With the Kyle Field project, we've got an area for a studio, so we're preparing for it. But there is an expense, and we're not where we need to be up par with the SEC network. And we want to get as much exposure as we possibly can to be able to broadcast our teams and all the different properties, because they're going to be looking for, the SEC network will be looking for programming, and we want to be in a position to be able to give them the program so we can maximize our experience. He's extraordinary. I mean, he is. I've been doing this a long time, been involved with this over 40 years. He's one of the most unique, and maybe the most unique players I've ever been associated with. His talent. I mean, he has what he does. He has. If you look at the great ones, like the Michael Jordans of the world, he hates to lose. First of all, he hates to lose. But what he has his God-given ability that separates him from so many others. He's got a unique ability of decision making. Plus, what I think he's got is he's got a burst of speed. He's sort of like he's going and he's sort of coasting along, then all of a sudden he takes off. Right. And he has a burst of speed. You just don't see that, the talents that he has. And the ability, of course, if you ever shaken his hand or looked at his feet, you'll see it. The first time I shook his hand, I'd look twice at his huge hands.
Really?
Oh, yeah, shake his hand sometime. He's got humongous hands.
Is it unreasonable to talk about, not for back to back?
I don't know. You do that on performance on the field of competition. Right. I don't. It was remarkable what he accomplished, and that's a credit to him. But as far as going forward, that's why we'll tee it up the first part of September.
And there's no catching teams by surprise last year, because that's what.
Nope. What you see is what you get.
Right.
But I think we were, and I said this before, when I first walked out and watched us play and practice the day in August, I looked over at our defense and I said I needed to shoot some Prozac. And then I looked over at our offense and I looked at the offensive line and I said, wow, these guys are really talented. And I looked back and forth, and before it was all over with, and I didn't really see Johnny that much, but offensively, we had talent. We were pretty talented. Defensively, I think Mark did a superb job of coaching, and I told him that after the years over. He really did a magnificent job of coaching.
Compliance is very tight on the things he does. I mean, he's been pretty open about that, and just keeping track of him in the off season.
He's enjoying life. He is. He's all over the place. People track him. I don't track him. I mean, people enjoy following where he is, but other people do that. But our compliance office has communicated with him numerous times. I've met with him several times. The football staff has met with him, and so we've done the best job we could as far as making sure everything's appropriate. If it's not, we double check, cross the T's and dot the I's. But he does enjoy life. I've been very, very blessed to work with the top of the line coaches. I mean, if you look back on the success they've had, and he ranks right up there. He is real bright. He relates to the kids, and why, after being around him a little bit, my first meeting with him for 2 hours, I called my wife and said, he's the real deal. I said, I couldn't be more impressed. My first meeting with him was extraordinary. And so from that perspective, and I think it's continued to grow in the respect I have. He connects with the student athletes. He really does.
Do you think this year has changed?
Even though I didn't particularly care for the music when I went out there.
The kids
I said,
love
what
it,
in the world? Well, but it's not about us. It's about the kids. It's about the student athletes. It's the thing he did with the Mississippi State, and the thing that he did, and that was high risk, high reward. If we hadn't won, we probably would have been heavily criticized. But